Oh, what a difference a week can make in the garden. Now, it's actually been a month, right at a month, since the last time I recorded a gardening video. I'm recording this on August 10th. The last gardening video I recorded on July 10th, and I still haven't gotten it up because this July has just sucked. It's been most of the time these days things are hard, but welcome to living in, the first seal. But this July is just, ugh. Anyways, right after my last recording, we had a heat wave, and typically when you have a heat wave, the garden goes ugh, and that's typically how it is. But that wasn't what happened this year with the heat wave. Is the garden instead just took off overnight. I did have some, actually, I think it was two, what are those called? Tomato hornworms on my tomatoes along here. And there's also blight. I've got blight going on with the tomatoes and with the cucumbers. And Lord knows what they're dumping in the skies. But because of the wildfire smoke that came in July, basically the garden I've been just trying to get out every 2 days to harvest, and otherwise I haven't been able to really do anything. And so the weeds have really taken over a lot, and sincere weeds. Like, this is indeed a weed, and yeah, I know this. I know I can't touch this. That's not supposed to be touched. I understand this, and I shouldn't have it growing here, but I do. It is what it is. I do what I can. I'm not, Pharmakeia just completely screwed me over, and it killed both my parents. So, and I'm not exaggerating. They did what they were told, and it killed them. And it is a miracle that I'm even here, because generally, if somebody doesn't eat for months and months and months on end, they don't make it. And I actually gained weight during that period of time. And plus, my throat has completely slammed shut on me 100%. Can't breathe more times than I can remember. I've been in anaphylaxis more times than I can tell you, because I don't know. I stopped using EpiPens, but I used hundreds of EpiPens. And I only use them in severe anaphylaxis. And then I've been in anaphylaxis easily hundreds of times since then, so potentially I've been in anaphylaxis 1,000 times, I don't know. And it's all because I got a precursor to what everybody else got here recently, in recent years, Pharmakeia-wise. I got that as a baby. It was similar to it. It was a precursor to it. It was the Heptivax. And hardly anybody got it, so it's highly unlikely that you got it, unless there's someone in your family who was diagnosed with hepatitis B, which is just liver failure, which is 100% curable if you just stop poison in the temple of the living God. All right, so I'm clearly more unfiltered today than usual when it comes to these sorts of things. So I'm just beyond irritated with the non-native EMFs that are saturating in our environment these days. I am beyond irritated with the state of humans in general, who just don't care about others and commit crimes and then accuse you. I am beyond done with this wicked and evil society, and the earth needs new rulership. And praise the Lord that He is visiting upon this wicked, evil society that places evil for good and good for evil. As you can see, my tomatoes down here aren't doing so well. Yes, they were visited by a tomato hornworm, and we've got what I assume is blight. But I don't water these at all. Actually, I haven't watered the garden at all this year, period. I've got my basil here my basil generally does well, but this is Siam basil. And Siam basil specifically does really well for me. And I do try to save the seeds every year. I'll probably let that one keep going to seed and harvest it, and then this basil here I will harvest today or tomorrow. depending on how I feel out here. There's still wildfire smoke, so I'm gonna try to get through this quickly. As you can see, my squash did take off, and then some of it has already died back. I've harvested some small, actually, no, I've just harvested one very, very small butternut squash that just said, I'm done. Okay, we're done here, I'm done. Here's one of my Long Island cheese pumpkins down here, looking really good. Isn't he looking good? This is gonna be a big boy. And some of my cheese pumpkins and butternut squash are going to be ready here soon. Dave and I were talking recently. He is seeing evidence of, as you can see, this guy's dying. And this one's dying as well. We're seeing evidence. There's another one down in there. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, and then down in there. We're seeing evidence that we're going to have in early fall this year, because some leaves are already dying back more than usual. So fall has functionally speaking already started here. There are some weeds down here that I actually like, but for the most part not. I think I'm probably going to let the gardens, because I do have 2 gardens, I'll probably let them rest next year. But if you listen to my prophecy videos, you know what I think about next year. Anyways, got some tomatoes here that have fallen over. I haven't gotten very many and then there are some tomatoes that are here that you can't really see, that are scattered in here and there. But I didn't really get much of a tomato crop from down here this year. I've got a little bit, but not very much. I'm just grateful for what I can get, because I basically just, I plant things and then it's that. That's that. They gotta want to survive in this stupid, evil, toxic world. So here's another one here. You can see the stems dying, which means that that this guy's done, pretty much. I've got. By the way, for this, I put about half a cup of urine in a 2-gallon in a 2-gallon watering can, and then I apply it. I use that in the garden, in the other garden, and I use that in this garden, and it does help with that. And I've done that once this year. It also is just a natural fertilizer. It's pretty amazing stuff. We've had roof stuff. We're doing construction stuff. We're not supposed to toot our own horn about, what we do to help people, but I'll just say that we went above and beyond and got screwed over. And it happened years ago. We're still dealing with it. These are here because I use them for garbage. I just took the garbage out. I accidentally threw a bunch of eggshells on a turtle. A small turtle that was in my pile of, basically in my garbage pile. I don't want to call it a compost pile, because they're, we have weed seeds that I can't do compost here. I can't do compost here. And I tried a rolling tumbler and that didn't go well. So you can see that prior to July 10th, actually prior to whatever week it was in July when the wildfire smoke came, I did get, a bunch of my garden soil into buckets and such, and I had the holes drilled in the bottom. You can see my last gardening video on that. And here, I don't know what this weed here, I don't know what that is. So I need to pull that, since I don't know what it is, because I don't want it to go to seed if I don't know what it is. But I've got lots of lady's thumb here that's going to seed. This is lady's thumb. You always want to be certain of your identification. But the lady's thumb is what I use for my pesto. I mix it probably about 50-50 lady's thumb and basil. And then I use the rest of the stuff in my substitution friendly recipe. This is wild lettuce. I was talking previously about wild lettuce going to seed. the cute little puffballs. So I've got some wild lettuce here. There's some wild lettuce back here going to seed. You can see here. And this here, this beautiful fella here, this is mullein. Mullein is just prolific. Mullein is an amazing expectorant. If you have junk get in your lungs, mullein is the way to go. Dave drinks mullein tea every week, typically twice a week, and I drink it. Well, I drink it when my body allows me to. I used to drink it a lot more than I do now. And I do tend to pick my tomatoes early, because it seems like if I let my tomatoes go until they're totally ripe, it seems to attract critters I don't want here. And as you can see, I have started harvesting today, but the thing with today is that I hadn't actually planned to harvest today. I took out the garbage, and I was walking past the garden, and I went, oh, there are 2 lemon cucumbers I need to grab that I saw. And so I came in to grab the 2 lemon cucumbers, and then I found more things that I needed to harvest. And I was just out here yesterday. So the garden is in gangbuster mode right now. Here's some basil back here too I got growing. I keep forgetting about this basil back here. It is in shade, so this basil back here doesn't do very well. I did transplant some of these not too long ago. I want to show you. Let me see. Yeah. Look, you see those roots? You see the roots? See that white stringy stuff? Those are tree roots, you guys. So this year, my theory was that I could outsmart the tree roots by tilling around the perimeter. And what I just showed you tells you, no, that is not true. And so I did, as you can see in my garden. We got some beans here. As you can see in my garden, I have now changed to container gardening. I'm just happy to get anything out of the garden this year. And I haven't been well. Here's more wild lettuce. I cannot believe how much wild lettuce I had growing out in here. I had no idea I had this much wild lettuce. Plantain, I love having plantain get this big, because I usually don't have cabbage, but when I use my ferments, I mean, a lot of people use, say, a grape leaf. I don't have any grapevines, or they use a cabbage leaf, and I usually don't have either one of those. But this is what I use instead to hold my ferments down. And here we've got a cucumber growing there. Oh, I do have growing some... Oops, let's get you growing back up here. I don't want you down here. I want you growing up here. I really like this trellis. This is so much easier to trellis everything with this versus having to tie it to stuff. We've got all sorts of pollinators out here, which is great. The butterflies did show up. We've got butterflies flitting around here and there. We've got some other... There's another lemon cucumber back in there. By the way, lemon cucumbers do not taste like lemons. Just an FYI. These are small watermelons. Small watermelons. So because they're smaller, they they ripen earlier. Those were from seeds that I saved. I've grown them previously, and then I saved those seeds. Let's see, I've already went down this aisle. I do have, I'm going to go down this aisle again. a couple of sweet peppers, sweet bell peppers. And this is the first year that I've ever successfully started sweet pepper plants from seed. So you can see this guy's farther along than this fella, but I may still get some from him. We'll see. But as you can see, there is blight out here as well. And again, I do pick things, especially my tomatoes. I do pick them early. There's another lemon cucumber there. This, by the way, is wool, sheep's wool insulation that was in an old mattress, and then I'm using it as basically as weed suppressant, not as mulch, because it sucks up water. But I'm using it as mulch. Let's harvest you. What we got going on here? Oh, I better get this guy. And I just harvested some right here because they were splitting. And of course I got gnats in the house again, because whenever I have tomatoes start splitting, you know, I of course bring them in, and there's always some that I don't catch that I leave on the countertop. And when I leave them on the countertop, then they end up with gnats in them, and then I end up with gnats in the house. Oh, these are just, I don't know, these are just marketed as red flowers that I seed saved from last year. So it's wonderful. The butterflies really love these. I have not seen any hummingbirds this year, and I've seen lots of posts on Nextdoor locally, people saying that they have not seen any hummingbirds. I don't intentionally attempt to attract hummingbirds specifically. These aren't ready yet. How are you guys doing? You're not ready yet either. Oh, here's some. I didn't expect these guys to be ready yet. These I transplanted not terribly long ago. Get some green beans. And of course, I just cooked a pot of green beans. Amazing timing, Leona. What I'm doing here with these four is, you can see that I just put the fence posts in, and then I have this jute twine, and I need to put more jute twine around there. To support them. And I need to learn also, this is me pollinating my tomato plants for about 10 seconds. I need to learn about raising and lowering tomatoes. Apparently it's a thing in greenhouses. I was reading in one of my books, gardening books that I don't want anymore. And it mentioned that, and I went, oh, I need to learn about that. Because my tomatoes that I grow are generally open pollinated mixed tomatoes, so they end up being indeterminates regardless. Now here's some weird stuff. This, not actually weird, it's just slightly annoying. So this is supposed to be trombosino zucchini, supposed to be a vining zucchini, alright? So vining, yes. I bought the seeds, so the seeds should have been true, but they aren't. This is not a zucchini. This is the second one. I've already harvested one of these, but wow, this guy was about a third of the size yesterday when I was out here. So that is tripled in size in a little more than 24 hours. So yeah, the garden's on steroids right now, but look at that, huge. That's a trombosino zucchini. Massive, huge. So some of the seeds apparently are true, but some of the seeds clearly are not, because of that. So, you know, whatever. Anyways, and here's some either peppermint or lemon balm. Let me rub it and smell it. Oh yeah, that's peppermint. Peppermint that has escaped. But it's going to be okay because putting everything in pots anyways these days, or, you know, in the future, that's my plan. Put everything in pots. What else we got going on here? Got a nice big tomato here growing. Gonna have to go take these tomatoes, put them in the bowl. The one thing that I hate growing in the garden that drives me bonkers is grass. And then there's also this here, which is, I don't like to use the term invasive, but it is invasive. This here, Japanese stilt grass. If you have rabbits, however, it's very easy to pull and rabbits like it. I still have not had one female flower from these here. And this was, there were 2 or 3 of these eaten by voles. Like the plant itself disappeared overnight. So that tells you it's a vole. But that was earlier this year. Since I stepped on one accidentally, because I stepped on a pile of leaves out here in the garden, and it went squeak. So I stepped. I mean, it could have been a mouse, but it's probably a vole. Since I stepped on one and caught 2, I haven't had any voles out here that I'm aware of. So that's good. But I'm still. I mean, it was absolutely detrimental to my garden this year in regards to voles. So many voles this year. Oh, some our tomatoes. Got anything else down there? I don't think so. The one thing, so I've got beans here, vining beans. I don't know what kind. I plant whatever. Although my Kentucky Wonder? No. Black-eyed Kentucky Wonder beans, or I think, or something like that. They're vining. Those are usually what I plant because they do really well. I don't know what this is, but whatever it is really, like, it's vining around my tomatoes here and everything. I just harvested a bunch yesterday, but they hide. Okay, I can see them over here. I was on the other side, and then I came over here yesterday and went, oh, look at all of the beans that are ready to harvest. So I harvested a bunch of beans yesterday. And like I said, I wasn't planning to harvest anything from the garden today. I just saw that there was a lemon cucumber that if I didn't harvest it today, then my cucumber plant was going to start stopping production. So I wanted to harvest it, and then I came out here and like, oh, all these things I need to harvest. This is more of the vining zucchini. I can't vouch for Trombosino zucchini because this is the first year I've ever planted a vining zucchini. I didn't even realize that there was a variety of it. You see, that's more of that stupid stilt grass. I gotta pull it before it goes to seed. Hopefully, we'll see. Anyways, oh, there's some butterfly. That's where we're at today, August 10th in the garden. And like I said, I wasn't planning to I had a bowl full, almost overflowing yesterday of food. And then I got this today too, accidentally. And I'm glad I came out here because these two, look at these two are big. They're larger than you want to have growing typically, because once they get to that stage, well, for one, most people don't like them because they're bitter, but I just peel them and then I'm happy. But it slows down the growth of new ones. So that's where we're at right now. Hang in there. Don't touch the cow.